She woke me. She woke me from a dream of every muscle in her perfect, piercing, lean, angular body, and all her flexing tendons that surrounded her jutting collarbone dripping down to her serrated sternum made me feel my lips were burning, and every freckle, every speckle of sweat upon her stunning ice-pale neck sent my head into a riot. I want to eat her. I want to feel her flesh grind and gouge and drip from my quivering lips. I want to experience her fatty heart slip and slide down my gullet into my stomach and feel the fizz of the effervescing sinew from her once blissful cheekbones, now wedged in my sick want for a girl I don't even know. Would her toenails taste nice? Would her calves feel ripe, clamped down in my pincer-like teeth? Would she scream? Did she even notice me? Did I send shivers down her spine? Maybe I will when I bite down on the base of her skull, shattering all the connections of every nerve ending, leaving her goddess-like fingers to grip towards nothing. All I can do is imagine the rose-petal skin of her inner thigh as I run my canopy fingers from left to right, just before I bite, and tear like old wrapping paper until shocking red muscle comes into sight. It's like the feeling of opening a brand new bite. I've never been so turned on in my whole life, our bodies becoming one, and as I lap the last drop of blood from the bite marks on her trembling breast, I think to myself, what a shame it was I never got to remember her name. Cider. This next one is actually probably quite an important one to like my whole poetry. Like, did anyone see the moon last Thursday? It's fucking massive, like so big. And I like at that time was like really questioning why I was doing poetry and like really not really sure why I was doing it and actually thinking about stopping. And then I saw the fucking moon, man, and I was high on that shit, dude. Yeah, and this one is called Bad Moon Rising. This is Fat moon hanging, suggesting its tone of cryptic madness on the shoulders of countless onlookers. The foundation of life glowing from its sallow, empty face. My face, almost unable to bear its ferocity, and it never stops. A staring contest that I can't win. Let it fall. Let it fall. The satisfaction of hearing its convulsion through our bruised atmosphere, its inky shadow enveloping every pore of my weak body. Let it fall. Let it fall. Its terminal face growling in my blistering eyes as it swallows me. Terror-thermic terror bundling with the rest from the screaming mouths of grief-stricken citizens swirling in panic. My stunned rigor mortis muscles infused in place, incapable to move from its enthralling apocalyptic beauty. Lost in this terminus love affair, a thundering tyrant heavy in the bowels of my zeroed self, all my understanding focused on me and it. Nothing. Let it fall. Cheers. I work in Lewis, and there's like about a point of like about 70 seconds where you can see the downs, and like it doesn't really happen now because it's like getting a bit lighter, but I go to work when it's dark and it looks, I'm like, it's fucking like, it's really terrified of it, but like also transfixed by it. It looks like huge waves and like it's quite scary, but yeah, it's sunny sleeping fields, enclosed rolling vacuum, billowing belligerent seismic aggressors tyrannize every sense, loom down upon me like tripwire glares leering. I am powerless to their tidal beauty, surrender to them, the twilight is theirs. Yeah, you've heard this one before. It's about a dream, and then like the process of waking up from the dream. It's called God. Like two jackals on a road, carving up concrete under sick moon. My tongue licks like fire at her bare feet, like ocean to sand. Love, we said. No. But raindrops sink deeper than words, and words blossom more powerful than flowers and trees, and brought down hearts just as quick as axe and stone. Twisted beats, motor, oil. More power, she said, as boredom again lapped her knuckles as she pushed down upon the throttle. Almost silent now, my ears desensitized the roar. Deeper than thunder, faster than fuck, quicker and quicker, lost again in a blur. I wish I could stay here in this inhuman soul rattle. No stopping to breathe, no time to exhale, not a thought in my head, not a need for thirst, never a worry on the road. But those blood smears gentle as velvet rose petal, and girl rests frail like satin tiger tail. I look on, unable to move, only tasting girl's fear thick and ripe on the air. It was so strange to feel so much blood under my fingernails and so much petrol in between my toes. Yet my brain was clear as girl's life energy began to squirm like a spider in a web caught in an October breeze. But then, as the ringing began to subside and I was brought back up to the surface, never to smell, feel or touch a girl again, she will remain lost to me, ever blinding, ever dying, her soul caught in a memory, and within these words, I will never forget you, girl. This one's about my nan. It's called Small. It's quite sad.
It is sad.
Well, I drink a cider on my own and I don't get
This poem you're about to read is sad.
It's not, it's positive.
But it sounds sad.
Don't cry, family members, because I will definitely cry.
I'm crying already.
You're so impossibly small. Your hands, once the most powerful, guiding, loving force that commanded the gaggle of wild creatures that surrounded your pristine circular dinner table, now arthritic, rusted, wise spindly oak branches, skin, worn sun-dried leather draped over precarious, frail bone structure. Once as smooth as mine and my sister's photos of this, left astride black and white on dusty shelf shoulders. I hear the creaking of your joints as you potter around. I worry about you toppling in a high wind, uprooted from stability, thrown down by gravity. How did you become so small? When we were walking up the stairs today, I watched you reach out for an arm or a rail, childlike in your betrayal. I find this tough to deal with, but I'm never more happy when you're telling me about Saturday nights in the 40s, dressing up real sharp and dancing so you couldn't feel your toes through your tights in your brand new shiny leather shoes. I bet you look beautiful. But Nana, I'm worried. I'm worried you're lonely. I'm scared every Sunday isn't enough. I'm scared your small house becomes cavernous when me and Dad part ways. I really, really hope you're okay. You're a rock. Not physically the most solid rock, but you tether and ground me. And you're the only person I trust when you say everything will turn out okay. And I still haven't worked out how the tea in your house tastes so much nicer than the stuff at ours. It's magic, I assume. And if I ever lose my way, I know the road I'm on leads back to your crooked Irish smile. Cheers. Yeah, this one is, so this was a really intense dream I had, and then I woke up and like turned on the TV and like, fuck man, the TV like, it just fucks me up, man. The news and like all this shit, they're just so suppressive, fucking drive me mad. And yeah, this one again is a bit of a maze of a poem, like the meaning is in there somewhere, but you've got to kind of find it yourself. This one's called Novocaine Daydream. As we danced our hollow cracked waltz in spiralling reverse beneath the towering charred gallows, condescending our blue blackened feet, as they pounded sleeplessly to the apathetic chorus of the laboured, languid legato strings raiding our crystal eardrums. Silent and screaming, I was churned up from the grey guts of the nightmarish white whale that hunts my nightly slumber, and sent spluttering forth from the bleached ashen tidal wave deluge of my subterranean consciousness, and dropped onto my sweat-permeated sandpaper sheets. Sorry. That's right, I've been drinking booze.
Perfect.
As I reached and grasped for a breath of reality's thick air, I felt the labyrinth pythons of my agoraphobic dream tomb drain away, like the blood flow from cutthroat jokes of the taunting innumerable plastic prophets, droning over and over, tireless and blind from their Novocaine-like pixel screens. Mannequin preachers hurling themselves into our eyes, vampiric vulture skylines casting their bleak sneers from papers on trains. Ominous and behemoth, their seductive decalogues of anguish and confusion, sculpted only to tire, leaving no escape from Babylon's cruel mask. As I walked my robotic journey to work, I see hallowed piss doorways harbouring the forgotten, stoned effigies tangled deep and martyred in the clammy hands of every junkie crumpled precarious on the end of teetering concrete butcher knives, with the pornographic heavens leering down upon the bundles of flesh and bone that mould away into the backs of our minds as we drift past in a hurry to nowhere, tossing fragments of our hourly wage into hats and rough hands. Change. This has to change. Realign. We must step out of our selfish, ghostly day-to-day and breathe. Take a breath of that air we all breathe. transcend this oppressive concession that we are all marooned on our own separate islands and amalgamate. Emancipate each other from the shell-shock days we received without a question or a thought, because that's just what you do, because that's what you were told was right. But we all know, we all feel we can be one and escape this, the citadel of separation, and grasp each other, and understand we are one blood in this, the body of the earth. Cheers. This one's called Woman, in brackets, becoming blind. Woman is life. Woman is the sun and the earth beneath our feet. She is every molecule in the air we breathe, every root of every mountain and every tree. And without she, there is nothing. We must venerate every part of her, from her feet to her uterus, to her heart and her mind, and never let her be drowned by the misogynistic, archaic decay this fruitless Western circuitry engulfs upon us. And although I will never perceive the feeling of the growing pains from her childbearing hips, the aches of her ark's life-giving structure, her beautiful human scaffolding missold with sexual desire, and I know I cannot voice the scream of my rooted animosity to the prostitution of women's image ingrained in the pounding dull lights of TV screens and the distorted magazines glaring over her powerful shoulders. I do know I can use every fibre of every muscle I possess to thrust back against the patriarchal clenched chokehold that leaves woman to grapple immeasurable phallic jackals cackling psychopathic babble in the concrete upheaved corporate shells dominating her skyline. Never let yourself be swallowed by those bleak shadows. Never be a victim to the anger you feel from misinformed men that see menstruation as vulgar. No, we see the beauty in your life-giving power. We must become blind to gender and see and feel only humans, but to understand woman is in all of us. In all the air we breathe and all the blood we bleed. She is ingrained deep, deeper than the darkest seas in all this flesh and all this heart, because she is me. Because she is all our pillars and we must be her foundation. To never crack or falter, to assist her, all of her, to realise every beauty of her potential beauty and power. Thank you.